In this video, I'm playing a 5-point match against XG and analyzing it. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe, and you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. Please let me know what you think in the comments below, what you'd like to see in future videos, so I can work on that. I appreciate your super thanks. These small donations help me continue to create the high-quality content that you enjoy. Now, with membership, you can have exclusive access to the most popular videos. My book, Backgammon, Backgammon Strategies, is available. There's a link in the description to where you can get it. And if you're interested in lessons, please contact me via email. My email address is also in the description. So again, I'm playing a 5-point match against XG on a beautiful Brazilian board. It's a green Brazilian board. The XG board is made by Rain. He makes beautiful boards. There's a link in the description to where you can get them. I'm playing the orange checkers at the bottom, XG the white checkers. These are the beautiful Hector Sachs checkers. And here we go with the 5-2 standard split and bring a checker down with the 5-3. He's able to make the point on head. 6-3 dances, not quite a double yet. 4-2 makes the point, and now I am behind in the race by 10 pips. I have no development. There's a 3-point board against a 1-point board. This one is hidden back here. Maybe if this one were here, it would be different. White still has 2 checkers stuck on the 24 point and hasn't even unstacked the midpoint. So there's a lot of development left to go. I think this one I could still take. All right, 6-4 danced. All right, shifts. 6-4 comes in with 1, hits again, dance again. All right, makes the board, can't come in. All right, now there's lots of builders to make that open 2-point. Almost got stuck with the double 3. Now it's going to hit loose there. Dance, okay. So I may get a shot if you roll something bad. No, not there. All right, so that's a gammon. That's going to go to the Crawford game. Okay. Now double 4. So I can blitz attack here. The alternative is coming up and down, which does a lot. Do this one. 3-1. Now, gammon's not too valuable at this score. The reason for that is because when you're at the 5-way score, if I win 1 point, then I get to 4-way, post-Crawford. And then after the Crawford game, I'm just going to double at my first opportunity. So I'm going to double and likely take. So if I win 1, I'll get to the 2-way score, and then I'll have to do the same thing. So I'll need 2 games to win. If I'm at 3-away and I do the same thing, I'll still need 2 games to win. So now I have a decision. No, actually, I can just play safe. Just going to play safe. Okay, so I think I'll have to hit. And then I can do this to block the 6-3, or I can come here and bring another cover. I'll try this one. Dance, okay, 6-1. The 6 is 4, so that leaves only 4-3. Nope. 5-2. So 2 and 5, or 5 and 2. This is good. It leaves builders to make that point. 6 and 2. All right, 5-2. So I'm up by a lot in the race. Just want to clear. This leaves only 6-5 as a shot. Whereas if I do something like this, right, like this, 6-3 is no good. Now, then I clear 1 extra point. So 4 I'll bear off, and 3. Okay. So that's it. So now it's going to be 4 away, 1 away post-Crawford. So I'll double at my first opportunity. All right, so that's a good roll, and now it might be a pass. Okay, so now I'm going to double again at the first opportunity. All right, it's a double six. Now if I win a gammon, it's the match. 6-2. So I'll just bring 2 down, duplicates the aces that hit and cover. 5-3. All right, 4-2. So I can make this point or I can make this point. I think this doesn't leave shots. It doesn't make the inner board point, but I think it's nice because it leaves a nice robust structure. The only downside is it doesn't unstack the midpoint, and it doesn't create a second inner board point. But I think this is the play here. We'll see in the analysis. Okay, 6-1, not a productive roll. So I think I'll just leave a single blot like that. All right, missed. 3-2, I'm just going to have to play safe. I could do this, but this is awkward. It leaves that stack. This does leave a stack too, but it leaves spares here and doesn't leave a blot. Okay, so 6-3, I'm going to have to hit here and play safe. All right, so now the race is close. So here I'll slot that point, make the next point, trying to preserve some sixes. I'd like to play the 6 here and the 1 here to diversify my checkers on different points, but this one makes the 2 points, so that's better, I believe. 5-3, I'm going to try to save a 6. Save another 6. I think I'll just have to save it a little bit more. Okay. Now I'm going to have to go. Okay. 6-5 hits. All right. Now I'll likely need a shot. There's a shot. Still have some ways to go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Gonna have to roll good. Any doubles work. All right, so that is gin. Now I'll analyze it. Okay, so the 5-2, people like the arrows here, so there we go. 5-2 was a simple bring it down. Now, if you're playing it like a gammon go type score where gammons are more valuable, bring 2 down wins more gammons. So let me do that and put it on another screen so we can see that. Okay, here's the other screen. Let's change the score to gammon go. Gammon go is when you're at the Crawford game and you're at 2 away. 2 away, 1 away Crawford as the trailer. Look at that. Still, now the 2 plays are virtually tied. Whereas at 5 away was a little bit better. These are small details, but the idea behind this is to understand that one play wins more gammons, whereas the other play wins more games. So always think about those types of plays based on the score. Okay, then the 5-3 was just making the point. I couldn't move here. The 4-2 was here, and the double 3 I danced. Okay, so this was the double decision. So here it was a comfortable take. So let's look at it, different scores, and then we'll analyze it a little bit more. So here at money, it's about the same. It's 885 and 882. So you see white is winning 66% of the time, but 29% gammons to only 8% for me. Okay, so let's go back to this score. And one of the things that I mentioned is that this checker is back here. So when I look at these cube actions, one of the things I like to do is modify the position to see what happens. So I'll do that with the checker. So let's say we move this here. Now Still a take, but now it's much stronger. Why is that? Because now this blot is on a point that white wants to make. So white can make this point with a 3-1, double one, or double four, make the point and put a second checker on the bar. So again, let's look at it over here. This one is a little bit stronger. So the original position was 885. Actually, this is a little bit weaker because now 6-4 does make the point, but the 6-4 is duplicated to allow this to escape or to bring two down. Okay, so when your back checker is kind of hidden on a low point that your opponent doesn't want to make, then it's safer. But we saw when it comes here, it's much stronger. And if it was over here, now it's probably pass, yeah, because now you have the double shots here. Okay. So what are the effects of other things? So here, it was a double and it was a take. What about splitting the back checkers like this? That makes it a lot stronger, okay? Because what happens here in the original position is white is trying to blitz an attack. If white doubles and orange takes, white's going to have to play the game to its conclusion, and ultimately white's going to have to bring these checkers around. When they're both anchored on the 24 point, it's going to make it a lot harder to actually come out. Like double fives becomes very awkward. Whereas when when it's here, now there are different numbers to do that, okay? What about the effect of having extra checkers in the zone? If you bring an extra checker into the zone, now it's a pass. Even though it's not diversified, it's on the same 8 point. If you have it on the bar point, now it's a bigger pass. Look at that. Okay, so number of checkers in the zone is very important. And the fact that there's a blot here. What happens if it were like this? Now it's not as strong because this one's not a builder for the ace point to be able to hit. Okay, so let's see what happens. So here it's worth 885. What if orange owns the 5 point? Now it's not even a double. You see how strong that is? Okay, what about like this? Maybe now it's the 4 point. It's getting closer, but it's still a blunder to double. If I have a deeper point, almost there, but now it's a close no double. And if I have the 2 point, now it becomes a borderline double. What if the race were a little bit closer, like this? No, now it's worse because I have less time. Okay. So these are the kinds of things you want to look at. So again, this was the original position. All right, and we saw when you're looking at these positions, look at the wins and look at the gammons. So these gammons are high. This is what I call a one-way gammonish position, where one player is winning way more gammons than the other player. So when the gammon is more valuable, then you have to be careful. So this is 5 away, 5 away. Let's look at it when it's 1 away. I'm sorry, 4 away, 5 away. So now white is 4 away. So let's look at this. If you press Control-Alt-K for Q and then click on this tab at the bottom that says gammon value. So you see the gammon value on a 2 cube for the player at 4 away, at the 4 away, 5 away score is 0.814. That means gammons are worth a lot more. For money, they're always worth 0.5. This has to do with the relative value of winning an extra gammon as compared to going from a single win to a single loss. So gammons are more valuable. That means you want to be more aggressive. So you see what happens here at this score. Now it's a pass, right? So at the 5 away score, it's a take, but here it's a big pass. Okay. What about at 4 away? At 4 away, still the gammon value on a 2 cube is 982. It's perfect. It's almost perfect. So here it's a bigger pass. Okay. Now let's look at 4-away, 3-away as the trailer. Now it's an even bigger pass. And then if you're at 4-away, 2-away, it might be too good to double, almost too good to double. Okay, now let's look at the 3-away scores. When you're leading 3-away against 5-away, now it's not a double. Why? Well, at 4-away, a double gammon gets you to win the match with perfect efficiency. So you have 1 point, you get 4 points, you get to exactly the goal of 5. When you have 2 points and you only need 3 points, a double gammon gets you to 6 points. So that's 1 point extra. It's called overage or wasted points. Imagine you're running a 50-yard dash, and now you have to run 60 yards to win, whereas the opponent only needs to run 50 yards. You're at a disadvantage. So you really want to be careful of this overage and wastage phenomenon. So at 3-away, 5-away, it's not close to a double. What about a 3-away, 4-away? That's probably even worse. Yeah, you don't want to double. It's not worse, but you don't want to double at this score. At 3-away, 3-away, it's a little different because at 3-away, 3-away, you want to double more aggressively. So what happens here is you can look at the match equity table by hitting Control-Alt-T for table. So this is your match equity at 3-away, 3-away. If you win a single game and get to 2-away, 3-away, you're at approximately 60% winning chances. If you win 2 points by winning a single game on a 2-cube or an undoubled gammon, a natural gammon, you get to 75%. So you're going from 60 to 75%. That's a big gain. That's 15%, a little over 15% gain. Whereas the risk is when you double, you're gaining 15%, and then the risk is the same thing. You're losing 15% here. So you can double more aggressively. You have to be careful because going from here to here as the trailer, you're just losing a lot more. So the take point is higher. I can show you that here. So here, like the dead cube take point at 3-away, 3-away is 30%. It's 30%, but for money, the dead cube is 25%. Okay, the reason for that is because you're risking more when you're getting to when you're allowing the opponent to get to the Crawford game. So you have to be careful. And if you're at 3-away, 2-away, now it's strong. Okay, now it's a pass. You don't want to let them do that. If you're at the 2-away score, you're really just trying to win an undoubled gammon for the match. Big no double at 2-away, 5-away, at 2-away, 4-away, it's probably worse. Yeah, it's a huge no double. And at 2-away, 3-away, it's not a double. Okay, and at 2-away, 2-away, this might be a pass. Or it might be a close take. It's a smaller take because you double really early at 2-away, 2-away. Okay, so going back to the match, this is what I do every time I have a doubling decision in a match that I'm reviewing. I look at it and I see all of the things that affect things. The other thing I do is I try to look at the market losing sequences. A market losing sequence is a sequence of 2 rolls, one by the player on roll and one by the opponent, whereby it was a take previous to that sequence, but it becomes a pass. So the equity is less than 1, and then it becomes greater than 1. This is very important, in my opinion, if you're trying to get to a very high level, because you always want to think about what are the possible good sequences for you and your opponent. You're always trying to maximize the good sequences for yourself and minimize those for your opponent. So this is the partial market losing first rolls. These are the rolls by white that would lose the market. And it's a partial market losing first roll because, as I said, the market losing sequence is a sequence of 2 rolls. But look at what happens with anything that's higher than 1 is faint green to dark green. The darker the green, the higher, the more you lose your market. So look what happens with the double 6. That's crushing. Let's go back to the position here. I'll put it on the other board here, and now let's say it's doubled, and now it's a double 6 to play. Look what happens, like that, resulting in this position. Now 2 on the bar. Okay. Double 4 is very strong too. Double 3, double 1, and 3-1. Okay, so those are the rolls that here you can look at it here. So the double 6 is crushing. It's played 13-1. Then the double 4 is 13-5, making the point on head. And then double 3 and double 1 and 3-1 make the point, make the 5 point. Double 3 shifts and brings 2 down, and so does double 2. So you can see that in the dice distribution here. Going back to this one, this is graphed on a vertical bar graph, so you can see it as a histogram. You see some of these lose your market by a lot. Anything where the equity is greater than 1, the x-axis or the abscissa is at 1, not at 0. So you're winning in every aspect. Basically, every roll you're going to have a positive equity no matter what. But there are some highly volatile numbers that really lose the market by a lot, so you have to double. And then this is how they're played. And these are the partial market losing second rolls. So if I fail to come in with these, then it's really bad, obviously. These are all the dancing rolls: double 6, 6-4, 6-3, double 4, 4-3, and double 3. Okay, and this is the graph. And then this is the market losing sequences 36 by 36. So this is a table of all the 1,296 upcoming sequences. So 1 roll for white and then 1 roll for orange. White's rolls are listed at the top from double 1 all the way to double 6. The average is at the bottom. And then orange's next rolls are listed on the side on the left from double 1 all the way to double 6, followed by the average. You can see so in here, the value in the cell, it's not displayed, but you can see a color coding. If the equity after this 2-roll sequence is less than 1, then the cell will be red. That means it's a non-market losing sequence. If the equity is 1 or more, the color of the cell will be white to green. The higher it is, the darker the green. So the darkest green ones are when you lose the market by the most. So for example, the first cell is what happens after white rolls a double 1 and then orange rolls a double 1. It's not a market losing sequence, so it's red. Okay, you can see when white rolls double 6s, these are all dark green, so those are crushing. The double 4s are good, the double 3s are good, 3-1 and double 1 is good, but when orange rolls something like a lot of these other numbers that come in, they're not so good, like the small numbers. You see? Okay, and then this is the equity heat map that basically looks at it from the take-pass decision. This is the reverse. And these are the joker sequences. So you see these double 6s are really strong and the double 4s. And then these are the anti-jokers. Mostly these are horizontal because these anti-jokers are mostly when orange comes in. Okay, so that was a very thorough discussion of these cube decisions, but cube decisions can be very complicated, and this is how I like to learn how to handle cube decisions. This one I got right, but even if you got it right, it's important to look through it to make sure you got it right for the right reason. Okay, so then it was the double 5 was played like that. I couldn't come in, and then the 6-4 just come in with 1, and that was pretty much it for that, and that was the game. Okay, so here, this is the one that I should know. This is, I looked at this. You're supposed to play 2 up and 2 down when they split like this. Okay, let's look at it for money. This is the right play, and then what if the split is, see, when the split is 4-1, then you can do something different. You could hit there. What if the split were like this? Then it's still best to come in. It's just a little too deep, and you're stripping the you're breaking the 8 point, and you don't bring extra checkers in the zone. Okay. Then the 3-1 was clear to just make the 5 point. 6-5 was run. There were a lot of straightforward decisions here, which is kind of talking through it. 6-5 running again. 6-5 now. I'm just playing safe to try to bring things home. 6-3, then the 5-4. There, the arrow wasn't showing, sorry. Then I had to play safe here. Okay, and here, this is the place where I had to hit and then continue. Yeah, this making the point was the wrong idea, because then I'll have a bad like 6-4, 6-1. There's a lot of numbers. 6-2 is okay. Okay. Then the 6-1 was down in cover. And then I came up, bore off a checker with the 5-2 and 2 with 6-2. And here, okay, it looks like the 2 were tied, so it doesn't really matter. 4-3 is just clearing, and that was pretty much it for this game. Okay. Then it was the next game, post-Crawford. So with the 6-5, just run, and then no matter what, now it becomes a pass. Okay, so if your opponent is even away, you have a free drop. So you can drop and it doesn't really cost you anything for the reasons I discussed earlier. And this was the final game. Again, it's an automatic double, and this one was a take. Then I rolled a double 6, which was a great roll. And with the 6-2, just had to bring 2 checkers down. It does leave that shot, but that was the best I could do. With the 4-2, okay, so look, it was slightly better to make the 4 point. So this was a small difference, but I like to look at them. This is the final position after 4-2, making the 4 point, and this is after the play I made. We'll look at the dice distribution. This is the dice distribution comparing the two. So this table on the upper left shows how white's rolls play next after play A, which is making the 4 point, and this is after play B, after making the 9 point. Green is good for me, and red is bad. So you see there's much more good rolls, and on the lower left, this takes the difference between the equivalent cells. In this graph, green is better if you had made play A, whereas red is better if you made play B. Here, of course, the aces are worse because it leaves a shot, but the other ones make up for it. So like 6-3 and double 3. So let's go back and look at it. So let's say what I'll do is I'll put it on another one. So here, now we go like this, 6-3. Is 13-4. But what if I had made the other point? Look what happens with 6-3. It just comes out. This will actually display it here. So you can see the 6-3 comes out. The double 3 makes the 2 point, but after making the 4 point here, the double 3s play bad. But if I had done this, it could come up. Okay, so it blocks them in a little bit more. Okay. Next to 6-1. Preferred this leaving the double shot. Okay, so this is kind of thematic. When this does help unstack the 6 point, which is good, and it does lose a lot more gammon. So, but at this score, gammon loss doesn't matter. So this is what I do: put it in for money. Now gammon losses matter. So let's see what it looks like. Yeah, now it likes my play. But because of the fact that gammon losses don't matter, here it preferred this one, leading to this. This allows me to create a prime nicely. Okay, and it's probably the same thing I missed. 3-2, 3-2 here. It did prefer making the 5 point. For the same kinds of reasons, don't need to worry about the gammon. See, this loses more gammons, but gammons don't matter. Okay, it wins more gammons, and the gammons are more valuable for you. So again, looking at this, look at the gammon value on a 2 cube, but the 3 away player, it's 1, but a gammon loss or a gammon for the 1 away player is worth 0. So that makes a big difference. So that affects these calculations. Okay. Then the 6-3 had to hit and play safe. 3-1 was good. I made the 5 point. 6-2 after he left. These didn't really matter. 8-2. Oh, liked slotting the other point like this. Yeah, here it didn't really matter. I didn't really need to worry about the contact. Okay, and then the 6-1, 8-2, 5-4. These were close, and then these ones, 7-4, 6-1. Oh, I like this. Okay. These are rather technical. Okay. And the 5-3, just saving the 6s. The 4-2, it liked keeping the board. Just in case you get a shot, you'll have a better board. Okay, I could see that. The 4-3 had to run, and that was pretty much it. So that was the match. That was a good match. It was an interesting match. There are a few plays that were interesting to look at. Again, I like to look at all of the moves because there are ones that, of course, if I made an error, I want to look at it. But there are some that if I didn't make an error and I wasn't sure of it, I wanted to go back and make sure that I got it right for the right reason. Okay, so look at the dice distribution. I look at all these things for the double take positions or the doubling decisions. I like to look at it and modify the position. That's a very good exercise because some of the people tell me, okay, I can't learn from the computer because the computer doesn't tell me anything. Well, you're right. That doesn't tell you anything because it does not speak. But what you can do is you modify the position and see what changes it makes. And then that tells you, well, this modification was the reason for this or for that it got better for you or worse for you. So those are the key structural aspects of the position that make it a double or a no double or a take or a pass and so forth. The other thing I like to do, as I showed you, is go through and change the score for every doubling decision because you saw the gammon value changes. Okay, so sometimes when it's a one-way gammonish position, you'll see it changes drastically from one score to the other. So I always look at it at the score of the match initially, and then change it to money first to see how that affects things, and then change the score and look at all the different scores in the match to see which ones it's a double, which ones it's not a double, which ones it's a take, which ones it's a pass, and so forth. So that was the 5-point match against XG. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe, and you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. Please let me know what you think in the comments below, what you'd like to see in future videos, so I can work on that. I appreciate your super thanks. These small donations help me continue to create the high quality content that you enjoy. And with the new membership feature, you can get exclusive access to the most popular videos. My book, Backgammon, Backgame Strategies, is available. There's a link in the description to where you can get it. And if you're interested in lessons, please contact me via email. My email address is in the description. I look forward to seeing everyone in future videos. And until then, keep rolling your dice.